Hey everybody, it's about 9 o'clock in the evening, Saturday, May 23rd. I'm going to take the 830 case and hook up to an old 16-foot spring tooth harrow that we have here. And then I've got a 16-foot spike tooth harrow that I'm going to hook behind it to finish up. I've got some fields in the back that we tore up with that field cultivator, that John Deere. So I just want to finish them off to plant corn in. I don't really need to disc them. This thing will do a pretty good job. My brother did some of the fields with that bigger spike tooth we bought, and that worked really nice, but there's a couple of small ones back there that it would take me longer to fold it up and set it out to get in and out of those fields than it would just to take this. So we're going to go get that hooked up and try to get back up there before dark. I don't have any lights on this tractor, so that's what we're doing right now. And I got that spring tooth harrow. You'll see when I get it hooked up, it's not hydraulic. It's an old style. You have to back up to set the teeth. So I've got this drawbar across the 3-point here. The lower you can get the hitch, the better it is. Otherwise it wants to bend instead of sliding. So that's what we're going to do. Here's our spring tooth. I'll take a little video of this to show you before it gets dark. You can see here how it hitches up to the drawbar, and then in order to tip the tines back, you have to back the tractor up, and then there's those cogs there. They'll lock depending on how deep you want to go. And then when you want to pull it forward so that they unlock and raise back up for transport, you pull that lever and pull ahead, and they pull back. It works all right, but like I said, you have to be real low, otherwise it doesn't want to slide. I don't know, I found a neighbor, the guy that I got that spike tooth from, he has one about the same width as this, but it's newer. It's got a hydraulic cylinder on it to do it, and I think the tines are probably in a lot better shape. This thing, the runners on it have been patched and rebuilt multiple times, and I think a lot of the teeth are starting to get so worn down now that they don't always dig the best as they should. But one thing that is nice about it, even without the teeth doing much, you've got these bars that are going across here that drag in the dirt. It still does a pretty decent job of leveling. And then I hook that, we've got a smaller spike tooth I drag behind, and it still does a pretty decent job for what it is. But it is probably getting time for this one to be retired, I would think.
I like that. You'll have a wheel right there, which is handy, but I don't have it. When I'm going around the corner,
Somebody's crawling, just shy of 9 months.
hold it dragging, or I tip it a little bit on the side.
Oh, he's got to watch the TV. There's a horse on it.
Everybody, it's Monday, May 25th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon or so. We're going to plant some corn today. We had this fired up last night. Tried it out on a little patch in the back there just to make sure everything was working. It seemed to be working pretty good, so there's still maybe talking some rain to keep moving the chances, but maybe tonight or tomorrow, so I'd like to get some corn in before then. We just got a 7,000 John Deere 4-row corn planter, 30-inch rows. We just use a dry fertilizer, and I'm using it on the 560 this year. Usually use it on the 1256, but being a 4-row, you got to turn pretty sharp, so this seems to be working a little better. So that's what we'll do here, and try to get some footage of this for you. Everybody, it's Tuesday, May 26th. Last night I was up with the corn planter and then some of them small fields in the back. Got all those planted. So now I just have the big field where they incorporated that liquid manure, and then I've got about 16 acres of my grandpa's piece. That big field where they put the manure is about 25, I think. So me and the boys are going to run up now with a disc, and I'm going to go over and disc. I've got a disc a little heavier, that spot that they didn't get dug up with that manure incorporator, and then we're going to hit the spots they did a little bit lighter, and then I can go over that with a kind of a finish harrow there, finish drag, and that should be ready to plant. One thing I was going to go over, I didn't mention earlier, I watched another farming video, 10th generation dairyman. He's doing some planting too. And some of the comments that I seen on his were people asking what these arms are for on the side of the planter with the disc on the end. There's one on each side. Some of you I'm sure know what they are, but for those who don't, those are marker arms. And I have those set, they're adjustable because this planter is 30-inch rows, so it's 30-inch spacing from row to row. So you can set those so you can follow them with your tractor, depending on where you want to have them. I have it on this particular tractor right inside the back wheel. Some people run it down the center, some run it, we used to run it where we could see the front wheel, but with this being a narrow front I can't do that. But that's kind of preference. But what that does is, so when you plant and you get to the end and you turn around, you can follow that mark back, and you'll have even spacing 30-inch between your planter passes. So that's all those do, is just mark your row of where you're at. So I just wanted to touch on that because I'd noticed some comments on his videos asking what those were for, so I thought I'd just mention it. So anyway, now we're going to go up and disc that up there. We got the disc hooked up to the 1066 here, so go do that and see if we can get that piece ready. Alright, hey everybody, we're up here on the cornfield where they put on that liquid manure. We tried the disc over it, but a lot of these places where there's a lot of rock, it's been so dry, the ground's pretty hard. It was really hard on the disc and it wasn't doing that good of a job. So I got the field cultivator back on now, and that really seems to be working out pretty nice. Some of this field, it's about 25 acres, it's pretty long. You got some places like where I am here now where there's just all kinds of rock, and then you get into another place and it's just like almost like desert sand. So when I get into the rockier stuff, I can set that a little bit deeper and tear it down, tear it up, and get a little bit more dirt pulled up. And then that sandier stuff, I can raise it, and it works out a little better because it was really hard on that disc. I was worried I was going to be breaking blades all over. So that's what we're doing now. I'm about maybe not quite half done. It goes a little faster with that thing too because it's wider than the disc. So I think go over it lengthways with this, and then I got that old spring tooth with that little spike tooth behind. I might kind of go at a kind of at an angle on it, and then it should be ready to plant. So that's what we're doing now. Jen was on her way up here to pick up Jordan and bring me something to drink, and there was a full can of Coke that hadn't been opened that was sitting here in the pop holder, and on her way up here it exploded and blew the whole top right off. I've never seen that happen before. I know it gets warm in here, but I didn't think it would get that warm. She said it sounded like a gun went off. By the way, if anybody watching needs rocks for their flower gardens or anything like that, I think I can probably set you up. Alright, about 7:30 in the evening now. Got this field done. That went actually pretty good. It was hard, but it was a hard pull, but it worked up pretty nice. Got a good, nice and loose now. So tomorrow I think I'll take I got the 830 over there, and got the spike tooth and or spring tooth and the spike tooth behind, the smaller one, so I'll just kind of run over this kitty corner and level it off, and we can get this planted. But that actually worked up really nice. So should be some good corn here if we can keep getting moisture. This ground could use an inch of rain a week at least, but it should do pretty good with that manure on there. So anyway, that's it for tonight. Jen's got a dairy association meeting tonight, so I'm gonna go back and babysit. Hey everybody, it's May 28th, nice sunny day, a little cooler today than it was yesterday. I got Josh with me today. We're gonna take the 830, and we got the spring tooth with the little spike tooth behind it. We're just gonna run over this field where they put the liquid manure on there. We hit it with the field cultivator yesterday and kind of broke it up good. Just gonna finish it off with this, and then it should be ready to plant. We're out here running this harrow, and I have to put a bigger horse on. We had to get the 10 out. The 830 pulls it fine, but some of this field has got some really powdery sugar sand, and I just having singles, I don't have duals for that tractor, so you can kind of see under here I wound up digging way down and had to unhook, so that's just gonna make more of a mess, hit them sandy spots on these hills, and so we're just gonna put this on here and get it done.
Hey, so Alan is out there somewhere. He'll be coming around the hill here in a second. Came up here because Alan picked up some Quick Trip donuts. And they're in his truck. And his truck is locked. So no donuts. I don't think that's supposed to be out here.